sometimes people like that fast money. They too young. Even when he was in the car, the girl was like, "That's my belly button." Like he don't know what he doing.
Yes, my shit. Yes, my shit. Say what that's my shit. Welcome back to another episode of Road to William. I got my cousin Ashley here with me from I Be Ballin' Basketball Show. Tell them about your channel, Ash.
Yeah, what's up? My channel, I Be Ballin' Basketball Show. You already know. It's about I give you guys WNBA and NBA and overall basketball news, free agency trades, different basketball movie reviews. I also talk about just the latest stuff in the basketball world. Um, I also I I did start NBA 2K videos, so check those out. And just I'm gonna start more day in the life of Ashley. I be balling when I go places and be balling. Like Bucks games, stuff like that.
And when do the Bucks start?
Yeah, the NBA is gonna start soon. Right now, it's preseason. The Bucks play their first preseason game on the 6th,
Okay.
and so
Was
they
that
gotta get
Sunday?
warmed up, huh?
Was that Sunday or Monday? Or Friday? Wait, what's today?
I think that's Sunday. It's Sunday.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
well, um, yeah, go check out Ashley's channel to be up to date on the latest sports news, sports movies, docs. I was just on her channel today. We reviewed what was the movie Resball. If you
Yeah.
haven't watched that, I recommend. I'll put it on the screen. I'll recommend go watch that movie. So then when Ashley drops, you'll already know. Be in tune and then have your own input on it. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. Today's movie review, we're doing something a little different. We're comparing two different movies that we enjoy, we love for different reasons. Um, we kind of have a battle on our hands because Ashley said off rip when I'm telling her like, yo, I'm asking her like, yo, what who are you choosing? Which movie you think is? She chose Roll Bounce. She chose Roll Bounce with Bow Wizzle, and I have to go with ATL, and we're gonna explain our different reasons. But let me know in the comments if y'all seen ATL, Roll Bounce. Y'all choose what's your favorite one and why. Don't forget that like button and yeah, join the conversation. So Ashley, we're gonna start since you're the guest, so I'm gonna allow you to. We'll talk about Roll Bounce first.
Hey.
Coming to age story, and let me pull up these names. I'm
Yeah,
getting
Xavier, played by
bad.
Bow Weezy. Fosheezy, my kneesy. Shad Moss. You know what I mean?
Xavier X, coming to age story, loves skating. He lives with his little sister and his father. His mom passed away. He's trying to cope with that. He's trying to build a relationship with his father. He's trying to be a better big brother to his sister. And he has a group of friends that they love to go skating together. They pick up another skater along the way, his neighbor, aka Journey Smollett, one of the goats in the game. Um, and they rock out the summer together. And through that, it's, I believe, for me, the coming of age part is he's no longer accepting the same old same. And I want to see your view on it, on like what do you think made him want to like stop going that same old route of just being content and going afloat. But at some point in the film, he realized like he had to deal with some things in order for him to move forward. he had to one work on his skating, and he had to work on his relationship with his father, and they just so go hand in hand. Ashley, you tell me how you felt about the movie. What did you learn from it?
I love Roll Bounce. I believe it came out when I was like in middle school, you know. What I learned from the movie, so I feel like everybody kind of got like, you know, something they go to when, you know, they feeling, you know, sad. You know, Bow Wow's character, Xavier X, you know, he loves skating and he turns to skating, I feel, to deal with the loss of his mom. And this is a great coming of age movie, you know, because, you know, you get to see the, you know, main characters grow. And so he lost his best friend, his mom. And so how do you deal with it? You know, you hang with your friends, but also something else happened where the roller rink that they used to go to and hang out in the south side, that closes. So it's like they go to Sweetwater and everything is all good over there, you know. Um but as far as dealing with the mom thing, his dad was dealing with it too. His dad was trying to find work and, you know, he was very qualified. He took anything like a janitor job, selling a car, you know, and, you know, they even go at it in the movie. And it gets me every time, that scene when they argue and he's like, Mom's not coming back. And he's, you know, um, beating up the car with because it's sort of, you know, he was like, you pay attention to that car more than your own family. And it's almost like the father didn't want to let that car go. In the same way, Bow Wow didn't want to let his old skates go that was given to his mom. Oh, I just realized that off rip. But you kind of see even the relationship that he has with his little sister. His little sister was like, can you tell me about mom? Because it's like she's young, so she may not, you know, remember a mom that much all the time. But I think sometimes you don't want to talk with your family about grief. And I think the son and the father, they wasn't really talking about it and they weren't dealing with it. And even the father, played by Shy McBride, he was like, he forgot the kids was going through it too, and he just wanted to kind of like sweep it under the rug and stuff, maybe change some furniture. But I think they probably should have talked about it more. I like that the dad gave him new skates because he finally started paying attention to the skates. Like, okay, they going through it, you know. So I like that the father gave him new skates. So it's sort of like, okay, your mom's skates are like kind of tearing down. Let me help my son. And it's kind of like, okay, another parent gave you a gift, you know. So I thought that was great. And also there's like romantic feels with the Megan Good character. So he's kind of like falling in love, you know. And I really like this film because you kind of there's like a lot of characters in it that we kind of grew up watching. Of course, we grew up with like Bow Wow with his music and like Mike, but it wasn't until this film where I was like, oh, Bow Wow can really act. Because he was in Johnson's Family Vacation, but he was kind of acting like himself in a way, like a regular teenage boy. But this is like, you know, um, you see how he can do comedy and different characters and drama and grief and crying. Megan Good, oh, her name was Naomi. But we also did see Journey Smollett, right? And, you know, she was in Eve's Bayou, so we grew up watching her. And she was also in like a Martin Luther King movie, I remember watching growing up. Um, so also Marcus T. Polk. I remember watching him on Moesha. Um, Brandon T. Jackson. He was in a lot of stuff when I was growing up, like Percy Jackson and like Big Mama's House too. He played Junior. Journey Somerlet played Tori. Nick Cannon, of course. Everybody remembers Nickelodeon, and he was rapping, but he didn't really know how to rap. But and I can't remember if Wild 'N Out was. I think Wild 'N Out was out during this time. He played Bernard. Wesley Johnson. I mean Jonathan. We kind of know him, but like I don't know. Like I've seen him in like a lot of different sitcoms, but I don't like know like a big role that people really know him from. But he played Sweetness. And Rick Gonzalez, I know him because he was in Coach Carter. And this kind of showed his comedy side because in Coach Carter it was more like drama. Mike Epps was in it. Of course, we grew up with Mike Epps in Friday movies. He played like a garbage man. And Cleo Thomas, we saw him in Holes, and we know like he's cool with Bow Wow. He's mixed Mike. I find that funny. But yeah, I like it because we grew up watching a lot of the characters. I mean, the actors and actresses. But I also love the music. Skating used to be real big back in the day. Loved the skating. And it had comedy, it had drama, it had family, it had friendship. It had a great mixture. There was nothing bad about it. You know, um, Talking about grief. Good coming of age movie. You can go. Yeah.
Um, Great film. I think when I want to piggyback off what you said with the father, I realized that the father thought he could get away with raising both of them the same age as the daughter. He was like, "Oh, with her it's easy. Like, she still shows me that she still sees a light in me that Xavier doesn't quite see in his father." Um, and she's younger, so he's trying to like you said, push things under the rug because to the girl, she's like, oh, she doesn't see anything wrong with it. But as X gets older, he's realizing like we need to do more than just sweep stuff under the rug. How come I don't know what's going on? You get a little embarrassed. You find out your dad had to sell his, wants to sell his car, and he finds out his dad don't have a job, and so he's like, why should I be hearing this from like an outsider? Why aren't you telling me this? And we live in the same household, but the dad's still looking at him as a child, and it's like, no, your son is getting older. Like you said, he's falling in love. You know what I mean? You got to be there. You got to step up that responsibility with them. And you have to kind of start talking to your younger daughter in a different manner too, because she's growing and you're not always going to be able to keep sheltering her too. And so but they had their moment, but they came back together. um and they both, like you said, didn't want to let things go that they probably received or reminded them of the loved one that passed. And it's like, well, how do you move forward? That everybody's just trying to do the best that they can until that no longer serves anybody. It didn't serve anyone in that household anymore. um he had to X had multiple changes happening in his life. um it's not one thing, it's the next. He's still grieving his mother, yet now one of the places he loves and probably went with his mother to is closing. And so now it's like, if you really love something, you're not going to stop no matter the circumstance or the environment. And so that could have been like this could have been a whole different movie. Didn't even have, you know what I mean? But he really loved escape. And so him and his friends took a trip, and they had to like, you're on new territory, you're on new ground. You know how to skate, but no one knows you, you know. So it's like building community there. Like we were saying in your film at the Res Ball, like about building community. It's like a different way, you know, that you're building because everybody needs a place to come to from the outside world. Like that's why I know our family, we was talking before we got on here about roller skating, and my mom used to that's because I liked skating a lot, but a lot of my birthday parties was when I started getting older, like was at skating rinks. And shout out to Rolero in South Milwaukee. Shout out to Butler in the Mill. Um, Shout out to Incrediroll, even though they had to close, unfortunately. A lot of places like there's, I think it was Skateland out here. They had to close. Everybody started closing during the pandemic, which you could tell like no one can go outside. Like was it's the big building not getting any revenue. But a lot of places closed. But I really enjoyed going skating because they played all the right music. Like there was games at the end. If you, I kind of was over it. I never really cared about the games. I'm gonna keep it. I was like, I want to get back to this music and skate around in a circle. But it was a place where people can just come chill and kick it and just vibe out. And so I think it's a lost place for entertainment. I think there's still some, but it just ain't as popping. And plus, there's racism, and racism affects shit. Then you got a whole bunch of people just don't want to include anyone, or you know, the music ain't inclusive. People are still living in this 1950 time, and it's like, so it's like if somehow we could bring skating back, the Butler still, I follow them on Instagram. And I just, even though I don't live there, I share it anyway because somebody gonna see it. Somebody might be like, "Let me go skating." I think, you know, just add that to your repertoire, add that to your to-do list. Like, get back out there. And I think skating is fun. How you feel about skating? Were you skating back in the day?
I was, but I wasn't as big on it. I used to be the one that was very careful, ride on the outside by the rails. I remember hurting my ankle because someone tried to pull me down with them. I'm like, I just did it for like field trips and your birthdays, but I wasn't big on it. But it definitely was a big part of my childhood growing up in the 90s, early 2000s.
Mhm. Um, the father also was slowly tapping in back into the dating world. Again, I don't remember how long ago the mother had passed, um, but what was her name?
Kalita Smith
Kalita Smith,
played Vivian.
Vivian. We love Kalita Smith. Okay, icon living, and
She's from Bernie Mac, yeah.
Wanda. Um, she. I think if he could have been in the messed up environment of a pool of people where they didn't care or whatnot. Like everybody in the neighborhood knew what happened, and everybody was kind of like slowly getting him back into the groove. Um, but she was, I think, the perfect person to come into his life and show him that he can love again. Like I think, like when people pass on, like it's always that daunting, like, will I ever love again? And I think she was a perfect person to answer that in the most gracious way, saying yes. And like, you might feel wrong about it or guilty, but if you love that other person the same, you would want them to love again too. So it's just, I think she was a great person, and she like was an her and her daughter like blended well with his family too. That's important because if y'all all trying to
Mhm.
live under one household or one life hold, then like y'all got to get along. But it worked out, and the daughter needed that too. The little girl needed that as well, like
to get the hair done because the
to be
father
there.
Curtis wasn't doing it good.
And something she probably was missing with her mom, with her without her even knowing or saying it, because she's still little, so she wouldn't necessarily know. But I think that was important to have someone else in her life to um, kind of take care of her like her mom would. Um, but I literally love the film. But we're moving on to ATL because that's my film, and I really enjoyed. Uh, you said it's a coming of age as well. I'm gonna let you start off with ATL.
Oh, me? Oh, uh, this is definitely a good black coming of age movie. The director was Craig Robinson, and I wonder if he's making any more movies. And then I looked up the Roll Bounce director, Malcolm D. Lee. So I wonder, what's going on? I need more movies, guys. But ATL, I feel like it's definitely has similarities to Roll Bounce, like growing up in your area, having siblings, having friends, um going to school. They definitely had skating. This was more about like the area Atlanta. You learned more about like Cascade and things they did.
Mm-hmm.
Ti, you know, was in it, and Jason Weaver. He's big on our childhood guys from Smart Guy, and he used to sing. I think I need to find his some of his old songs, but of
Mm-hmm.
course people know "Only One Call Away."
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Him and Luke need to start singing on the shy. That's gonna be their way out the game. Cause
Jacob Lattimore. What about Jacob Lattimore?
oh yeah, he got to. But he was acting like he couldn't sing in that one season. I was like, don't act like you can't sing, bro. That's what we're not.
But yeah, you definitely learn more about Atlanta area, Atlanta music. Um, Evan Ross, Diana Ross's kid. You probably know him from a couple of different things he's been in. He's been in
Star
Star. He's
Lee
been in,
Daniels,
yep. Um, he was in that Queen Latifah movie with his sister Tracy
life
Ross.
support.
Yep, that was a good one. But yeah, it's about working class people and how they're trying to make it day by day, what they do on the weekends. Oh, Tasha Smith was in there. She played the twins' moms.
Vita. I'm Star. You know what I mean.
Yep, and it's about like it's definitely a coming of age movie because you see how they transition because they about to be seniors, what they about to do. At the end, you kind of find out what happens to them, and I also compare it to Roll Bounce because of here you have the ghetto sort of, and then you have like the white area sort of that got the money, and in Roll Bounce it was the South Side versus the Sweetwater. And then in ATL it was like was it Burbank? I don't know. But one of T.I.'s friends, was it Jackie? Oh, played by Jackie Long, but what was his name?
Esquire.
Esquire. Oh yeah. Esquire. He was trying to go to an Ivy League school, and so he would be playing golf like Tiger Woods, y'all. But he actually does what a lot of black students have done, which is like sometimes you can't go to certain schools if you don't live in a certain district. But it's kind of bad because certain people miss out on certain opportunities just because of where you live at. So he kind of lied about where he lived, because he kind of lived in the bad neighborhoods like that. Um, so you kind of see different challenges with that. And even Lauren London's character, you find out she was sort of lying about, you know, who she sort of was, where she really came from. T.I. didn't like that. Wait, T.I.'s character.
Mhm.
What was T.I.'s character name?
Rashad.
But, oh, Rashad. But you kind of saw with each character how they grew, and how they faced on all the trials and tribulations of living in Georgia, Georgia. The music was fire. I did like the skating, but you gotta brag on ATL.
Where with you?
Oh yeah.
Luda. I really like the film. Uh, him and his brother live with, or they uncle live with them apparently. um, after their parents passed, and they're trying to live better. Like Rashad's trying to live better. He sees the vision. He's like, look, I gotta at least take care of my brother. Like he could have been saving that up even for himself. Like, oh, let me when I well, y'all don't need to what get an apartment. You got a house, you know. So there's like y'all both. Well, y'all got cars. You don't need that either. Okay, y'all are kind of set, and but even though things are set, it's still a rift in the house. It's still a divide in the house because even though they're not struggling, but it's not enough. You know what I mean? And it's getting to the point where they're making struggling decisions. And but it feels like in Rashad's eyes, like he's the main one taking care of the family. The uncle is just kind of like passing time. And so, but really, like they all had that fight, but that had to happen because that got them talking more. Before they weren't talking, it was hi bye. Hey, they really just talking to him for cereal. like, like, let's really think about this. Of course, something's going on in the crib. They don't even talk to each other. Don't be banging in my house and don't eat too much cereal. It's all he has, right? But it's like no, they need more than that. Like, um, something was missing in the household because now the little brother Aunt he got to go outside to find. Really, he wanted. It was a love missing, and why be at the house when your parents aren't there? You know what I mean? And so he's trying to go out there and find. You know how like in movies sometimes it's the girl who's looking for love, and it's like, but it was like that, but for him. He was looking for love, but in the streets. And the streets don't love you. It's replaceable. You're replaceable. And Big Boy's character,
Oh, he was acting pretty good.
Marcus,
Yeah.
yeah, they do, man. They need to do another film together. Him and Andre 3000 because they both can act really good. But yeah, Marcus, he was doing that R. Kelly shit a little bit. Okay, he was hanging around the high schools. He dropped the girls off. He was R. Kelly in it a little bit in that film, but uh, he took advantage of Ant the same way he's taking advantage of them girls because no, they're not having sex, but you're exploiting him. You're exploiting this young kid knowing he don't know any better. He's drinking milk, chocolate milk with a white t-shirt. He's a baby. He don't know no better. And you want him on the corner? You want him on the corner, okay?
Hmm.
And he didn't even know the 24s to 28s. And you still let him on? That's taking too much of a chance. And then Ant got cocky, but he had to learn the hard way in the streets. He had to learn the hard way that the streets don't love you because you can't trust anyone. He started getting cocky because he started making money. And what threw me off was the first time that one kid came up and asked him, like, hey, you holding? He was like, no, left with his friend said, narc. Okay. Okay. So he be talking to the cops. And you still sold him something anyway because now you got a little bit more bread. Now you in jail. Okay. And him and his brother didn't have talk either. No one in that house talked to each other. And it had to be some dramatic circumstances for them to start talking. Like if you saw Marcus do that to his own family on the corner, what do you think he gonna do to you? He said, "You better not tell my mom."
Oh man.
Esquire was doing the best he could to um advance his life too. You know, it's that it comes to like systemic racism, like holding people back. He had all the accolades in the world you can get, but it came down to knowing someone to get you in the door. You could work. It was showing you like, especially in the South, you can work 10 times harder. You be 10 times smarter than the next one. But because you're black, because of where you live, because of where you came from, and because you don't have that background of elite people that can get you in the door, you're, not going to advance. And so, even then, even in those circumstances, he was still in God's timing. He was still in the realm of where he needed to be. And that was a good part to show you, like, the people you might look up to or see, on these billboards, what have you, like they some of them, are kind of living in la la land. Like it's like everybody strives to be like, oh, I want to make it. You want to make it. When you make it, sometimes you get stuck in that cloud. You ain't supposed to get stuck in the cloud. And that's what I'm looking at their character name. I
Who,
forgot.
Lauren London?
No, the dad. Oh, this is the wrong.
Keith David's character? Oh, John Garrett.
Oh yeah, John Garnett.
Yeah, Garnett.
He was stuck on that cloud of like he didn't want to remember where he came from. He's up on that high horse, and they show you the other side of the tracks of okay, Nunu, Aaron, even though Aaron has all the opportunities, the right background, all the boxes checked, she doesn't feel like herself. She doesn't feel like she's connected to what, you know, we can't something was missing in all that money and all that wealth, all that opportunity. You can have all the opportunity in the world, but if you're not okay with yourself, it's not going to matter. And so it was interesting to see her be more in by the Cascades and then chilling because that's what she liked. But the dad was like, no, like we have to like draw a line somewhere. He doesn't see them as an equal. But go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, the dad, Garnett, John Garnett. Some people might say he's an Uncle Tom or a sellout. He probably should have showed his, daughter. Reppin' the WNBA, baby. Ayy. Put your W's up, put your W's up, put your W's up. PG is free, back with the Mercury. New, Lauren London. Both sides, not just the rich side, but, where he came from. Then she wouldn't be sneaking around and stuff. You know, you probably should have showed her both cultures. Um, and I think Rashad, I think they liked each other, but I think Rashad just didn't like being lied to. And he was even mad at Esquire for not telling. But Esquire didn't really know until later on, and he wanted to tell. But I guess Nunu wanted to tell first. But yeah, Evan Ross, he was just, it kind of looked glamorous. But even when he, Big Boy's character Marcus took him with those dogs, he looked scared, like he was out of his element. And then at the end, he raising his hand like, I better get to this schoolwork. But yeah, sometimes people like that fast money. They too young. Even when he was in the car, the girl was like, "That's my belly button." Like he don't know what he doing.
Ah.
So and then oh, they had different Atlanta people in the film. I like that, like different appearances, like Monica appearance. I think there were some other appearances too, like Killer Mike and Bone Crusher, and
Mhm,
um, they should have had Ludacris in the movie.
mhm.
I did hear rumblings about like another Atlanta ATL, but I don't know. They take it
That would
too
be
long.
dope.
Sometimes when they take too long, it's not the same. But yeah, I think and I when Ti's character Rashad showed Ant the money, all the money he made saving up with the cleaning, that should have been, you know, evidence, to the younger brother Ant that, oh, I don't really gotta, do this illegal stuff. But he's I don't know, man.
Mhm,
Sometimes you gotta make mistakes and get in trouble before you learn. Sometimes people know the way and some people gotta, go through the mistakes. But overall I think it was a good film.
Oh,
It
oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
the grills.
Hmm.
I need me a grill, yeah. But might as well say balling. But yeah, overall, I think the acting and the writing was good. And
How do you feel about the skating? Compare the skating from road bounce to ATL. Who had the best skating?
hands down, Roll Bounce had the best skating. The main I feel like ATL, they had some good skating.
Hey, move that shit out the way.
Yeah, I do like that. I like that they had their own dancing crew. You know,
I ain't gonna lie, road bounce they did have better skating. I feel like ATL was more focused on the story, and the
yeah.
skating was kind of like he was able to put them skates down. Like, yeah, y'all right. It's not nothing. I really want to draw, but
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, but yeah, I will say road bounce had the better music to the skating too. But I think it's different time frames too. It's like that was what year was they in? 70s for
I
road
don't
bounce.
think they ever really told us.
Well, it had to be something with them froze, like, and then
Yeah, let me
but
see.
then there was ATL is more like modern day. Um,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
true.
based on the time. It was showing you the current times that we were going through.
Yeah, 1970s in Chicago.
Hmm. But yeah, did you want to add anything else?
I wanted to add that the the DJ in Sweetwater was Wayne Brady,
Brady. Yeah.
and the DJ in the skating rink that was closed was Daryl from DMC. I mean, Run DMC. And oh, Charlie Murphy was the one of the garbage men.
Hmm. Hmm.
What else?
I thought that was
Yeah,
Jazzy Faye with the DJ on ATL.
nah. I think Jazzy Faye was in ATL though.
That's what I
Maybe.
said. I said ATL.
Oh yeah.
You said someone else.
No, the DJ that was in the beginning of Roll Bounce before the skating rink
Oh,
closed was from
oh,
DMC, Run DMC. Yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
So you still choosing road bounce?
I got to. The jokes were better. Um, it made you cry. With uh the Bow Wow scene, so more emotion. The love story probably was equal in both of them.
Mm. I feel like the love story in Roll Bounce was cute. It gave you a little sugar
It
at the
was
top
it
of the
was his
oatmeal,
crush.
but it wasn't all that. It wasn't cookies. It was
It
oatmeal.
was his crush.
Yeah, it was oatmeal. But ATL was like peach cobbler. It was more to it,
Oh,
and then you could add a little ice cream to it. It was a better story. It was definitely better than the story in Roll Bounce. They just
the
had to
love
add some cute
story.
in
The love story. But also
there.
the
That's okay.
jokes are better, and you know what was his name? But the Brandon T. Jackson character and the Journey Smollett character, you know, they was kissing at the end.
Yeah.
But overall, I just think Roll Bounce.
That don't make it better.
Well, okay, the love story was better in ATL, but everything else in Roll Bounce, the skating, the jokes, the drama, the emotional
The
scene,
drama, ATL, he got shot. Them dogs almost ate him.
I, the drama was definitely way, way better because I get it. Getting shot, is bad. But if you think about it, he brought that on himself. He needed to learn his lesson. He like, okay, I got shot. Let me raise my hand now in school instead of, getting sent to the detention office. I
He
just
should have
think
just told him he got robbed, but it wouldn't matter anyway. But
yeah. It was definitely more gangsta from the streets. Okay, overall, Roll Bounce wins. The acting was better too. Sorry.
well, y'all put in the comments team roll bounce or team ATL. I say team ATL. They both should be making more movies, so get to it so we can review new ones instead of going back. Ashley's internet froze again. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you go check out my cousin's channel. I'll be balling basketball show, latest news, reviews, docs. Go check her out. They'll be on Facebook, maybe on IG, whole squad over there. And for me, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We dropping daily. Boom, mic drop. Yes, my shit right here. So I just my shit right here.